Hi everybody, Tylord here with a pickups video. It's been a while since I've done one of these. I haven't had much time, but I had the day off of work today, so I wanted to take this opportunity to do a pickups video to share all of the goodies I've acquired over the past month or so. I've been busy with work. There's been a lot of overtime and I've been wore out. I haven't been able to make it to the gym. I guess I could, but I've just been worn out from all the work and the overtime. And I got the family to take care of too. So I haven't had much time to do a pickups video. I think the overtime at my work is starting to come to an end, so hopefully I'll have some more free time. The good thing about all this overtime though is I've had a little bit of extra money I could spend on selfish things. So I've actually been buying some stuff off of eBay, and I haven't been going crazy. I've been finding some really good deals on eBay. At least it's stuff that I think is a good deal, because I haven't had time to go out to yard sales or much lately. And I've found some games that I've been wanting for a while now. I've found quite a few good things over the past month on eBay. Been to the thrift store a couple times with my family. I found some pretty good deals at thrift stores too. So I'll get to this stuff now. I'll start off with my movies. So we were at the dollar store looking for something, and they happen to have Blu-rays at the dollar store. I can't really pass up Blu-rays for a dollar. We got the new RoboCop for $1 at the Dollar Tree store. This might be a RoboCop ripoff, like a made-for-sci-fi movie, RoboCop, Cyborg Cop, Michael J. White right there. I like quite a few of his movies. He's one of the last few good martial arts action stars. And then I couldn't pass up Survivor with Pierce Brosnan and Mia Jovovich right there. I'm a fan of both of them together in sort of the suspense action thriller. Not really my favorite movie, but I had to get it for $1. It's not a bad movie. Okay, at the music store I found this PAL Region Blu-ray of Streets of Fire. I really like this movie. It's an action movie from the 80s. It's kind of like a musical action movie. I don't think I'm the only one that noticed this, but this movie seems like it has inspired video games like Final Fight and Streets of Rage. Kind of says it in the name right there, Streets of Fire. This guy, I think he's played by Michael Paré. He's trying to rescue his girlfriend, who's like some kind of diva or rock star, like a lead singer for like a band. She's been kidnapped by a gang, and he fights through the city to rescue her. A lot of the style and the theme, it was a lot like Final Fight. I'm pretty sure the developers and the directors of Final Fight were inspired by this movie. Even Willem Dafoe's in here, and he's kind of dressed up like some of the henchmen in Final Fight. What's his name's in here? Rick Moranis, his little dweeby guy. Oh, Diane Lane is in here. That's the girlfriend. Who was the director of this? Walter Hill. I don't really know much about him, but this is a fun movie, a unique style, kind of like a musical. Sorry, it reminds me like 50s and 80s combined. Okay, I didn't have Desperado, so I picked this up for 99 cents, just the DVD, not a Blu-ray. I don't care whether or not my movies are Blu-rays or DVDs. This is a good Robert Rodriguez movie with Antonio Banderas there. Selma Hayek, hello. And I didn't have Smokey and the Bandit, so I got this on DVD. It was $1 with Burt Reynolds and Jackie Gleason. Sally Fields is in here. This is a movie, I don't know why I've never seen this, but I've never seen these Smokey and the Bandits. When I was a kid, I remember seeing them on television watching them with my dad, but I don't think I've ever watched them start to finish. So that's something I want to definitely watch when I have the time. Here's another one I haven't watched in years, but it's a classic. I couldn't pass it up. It was 99 cents. I think it has, I don't know, this collector's edition. It's got a little insert in there. I think I might actually already have this, so if anyone's looking for this, let me know. Okay, this is another one I couldn't pass up. The first 4 Nightmare on Elm Streets. There's 4 discs in here. 1, 2, 3, and 4. This was $1, so I couldn't pass this up. I have all the Friday the 13th. I was never the biggest fan of the Nightmare on Elm Streets, but I gotta have the first 4, especially if it's $1. Oh, another movie from my childhood I highly enjoyed. Dick Tracy. I didn't have that one, so I had to get this for $1. Warren Beatty, Al Pacino, all those weird looking gangsters. They try to make them look like the old cartoon with all that makeup. They look creepy as heck. The mobsters. Old Madonna's in here. Oh, here's what's her name? I can't even think of this actress' name. She was in Dirty Rotten Scoundrels. Oh, and this has great Danny Elfman music. This sort of had the Batman feel, the Tim Burton Batman feel. It had that Danny Elfman music, kind of that comic book style. So enjoy this movie. Oh, Warren Beatty directed this too, as well as starring in it. So that's it. Oh no, I have a couple more movies here. I got this sealed fantasy pack for $1. I'm not really familiar with a lot of these. Some of these might be like made for sci-fi fantasy movies. Beowulf, Midnight Chronicles, Warriors of Virtue, Merlin, and the War of the Dragons. Dragon Quest is on there. I'm sure it's not the video game, but I don't know what that is. Beastmaster, that's kind of why I got it, with Mark Singer and Tanya Roberts. So the old fantasy pack. I don't know if I'm going to keep that or do something with that. Here's Judy's copy of The Fugitive. This is one of my favorite movies from when I was a teenager. Pretty good action suspense thriller based on a TV show I never saw. This was my introduction to The Fugitive. Harrison Ford, Tommy Lee Jones. You can't get better than this cast. Are you saying that I killed my wife? That I strangled her and shot her? How dare you? Okay, and this is another one, 99 cents I couldn't pass up. The first 3 Rambos. First Blood, Rambo, First Blood Part 2, and Rambo 3. I didn't have any of these. I enjoyed these as a kid. Especially First Blood Part 2. I don't think I've ever watched Part 3 all the way through, so I gotta give that a try. The first one's a classic, of course. First Blood. Okay, that's it for the old DVDs and movies. Now on to the games. I had to start off with this one. My buddy HGR, who many of you are familiar with. A big-time game collector, YouTuber, sent me 007 Legends. I've been trying to collect every James Bond game that's been released on consoles. I'm not going as far back as the Commodore 64 and all those older systems. Those cost a fortune. I'm not really interested. But anything from Sega Genesis and up, Game Boy and all that. I didn't have 007 Legends. Jav Geez just sent me the Wii version, so now I have the PlayStation 3 version. I'm getting really close to completing my James Bond collection. But HGR, Hidden Game Room, sent me this one. We did a little trade. It's good to have friends on the internet that live in other parts of the world. A lot of my buddies see something James Bond related. They go, oh, you have this? They'll text me a picture. I didn't have this one. So I did a little trade with HGR. HGR, I'm sure everyone that watches me knows who he is or is subscribed to him, but he's putting out some great content. He spent quite a bit of time on this Final Fantasy video I just watched. He goes through all the Final Fantasies chronologically. There's a summary on each one. It's very thorough. Pretty much every Final Fantasy game ever released. Just out of nowhere. Okay, what else? Okay, I'm not big into PC gaming, but I saw this Sierra title here. It looks kind of like a point and click adventure, sort of animated style. Shivers. And I don't know if it needs a code to play it. It's for Windows 95. Shivers. Oh, I like these point and click adventure type games. I was never big into PC games, but these are the type of things I liked. Little puzzles and whatnot. I get a kick out of these things. I don't know if I'm ever going to play it, so if anyone wants this, let me know. I just couldn't pass it up. It was like 50 cents at the thrift store. Okay, I'm starting to really get back into PlayStation 1. I don't know what it is, just the nostalgia bug hit me for PlayStation 1. I had a pretty good PlayStation 1 library. Although I wasn't big into gaming back then, there were a few titles I really liked, and I had a little collection. Mostly just played Resident Evil and Tekken and Street Fighter, but I had quite a good little collection. I had the little mini PlayStation. It was called the PlayStation 1, I think, and I had the little screen, and I had a cigarette lighter adapter. I had that thing in my car. At work, I would go to breaks. That was back when I worked in a department where not everyone went to break at the same times. Now I have my friends. Everyone goes to break at the same time in my new department. The old one didn't have. Everyone just went to break randomly, depending how your schedule was. So I would go out to my car and play my PlayStation out in the car. I had quite a few PlayStation games, but one night my car got broken into, and I don't know how. Like the company I work for has good security. I don't know how someone just came into the lot and broke into my car. They took my PlayStation was in there. I think my DS and my Game Boy were in there. So anyway, lately, since I've had a little bit more money, I'm trying to go back and buy all of those PlayStation games that I lost. Anyway, this wasn't one of them though, but this is one I've always liked. I rented it when I was a youngster. Rebel Assault 2. I dig these FMV these FMV games. I get a kick out of them. I really enjoy them. This is Star Wars. I think I remember this being very easy, or you could set it to like invincible mode or something. I might be thinking of Wing Commander, but this is a fun Star Wars game that has the feel of the original movies. Kind of corny, but I enjoy stuff like that. The trouble with this thing though is the disc is not scratched. It doesn't show any sign of damage. It doesn't have the book in there, but it has both discs and they look to be in decent condition. But I'm having a hard time. I'm playing it on my backward compatible PS3, and it seems to be glitching out during all the videos. So I don't know if it's just the way it runs on the PS3. I haven't tested it on an original PS1 yet, so I don't know if there's something wrong with this game or it just doesn't run well on the PS3. Alright. Oh, my wife found these for me. I'm very grateful. I think these were 50 cents a piece. Yeah, they were in with the 50-cent DVDs. My wife got me a official PlayStation Magazine demo disc. This was the shoot back then, getting a disc in a magazine with demos to play. It was before most people had the internet or Xbox Live or whatever. You could just download demos. This was a big deal to get demos in a magazine. Extreme 2. It was just the snowboarding. Yeah, I didn't have that one. It doesn't have the manual, but 50 cents, can't beat it. Tight White just gave me Tomb Raider 1, which is one of the ones that I lost when I was younger. But now I've got Tomb Raider 2 as well, not complete, just the disc. My wife found that one, 50 cents. And this here, Blood and Iron, I think it's a Dungeons and Dragons fighting game. This is just the demo of it, and I'm going to have to say it's pretty crappy, or at least I don't understand the physics of the game. But it's cool having this demo. That was 50 cents. It's kind of like a Soul Calibur type fighting game. But I just kind of find it frustrating. I can't figure out how to turn the man around. He always turns and faces the wrong way. Okay, at the clearance in was this Walmart? Yeah, I got Beast Quest for PlayStation 4. This is still sealed. It was $10 on clearance. It's hard for me to pass up a $10 game for PlayStation 4, even though they're probably going to be like $2 in a couple of years. But this one was sealed up. I watched some reviews on it, and it looks decent, like a simple action role-playing game. But I don't hear many things wrong with it. It's just very simple and basic. Very, as people would say, generic. I don't mind the generic fantasy feel. Just a little Link type dude fighting dragons and trying to save a princess or whatever. Yeah, very run of the mill, but I really don't mind stuff like that. So I don't know if I'm going to keep this or give it away or trade. I'm getting way too many PS4 games. I don't have room on my hard drive. Okay, Sega Superstar Tennis. I got that for $2. It has an Xbox Live Arcade disc in it. I don't know if that even works. But I didn't have Sega Tennis. It's probably a fun little tennis game. I'm starting to be a sucker for 360 games too. They're getting so cheap. At a yard sale, I got Simpsons Hit and Run. It was one of the neighbors, so I gave her $5 for it. Probably it's not worth that much. I see I could get a little bit more for it at GameStop if I traded it in. And I didn't have it on GameCube, so I might just keep it or look for a label. I have it on Xbox, but I tend to like to hang on to GameCube games. So a bunch of the games I've bought over the past year or months at the either at the thrift stores or GameStop. I like these little dollar games I get. I took a bunch of them to my local video game store, the Game Exchange. I traded in about 10 of them, so I probably was in like $10. And I actually got $25 for it, and I bought the old Secret of Evermore. I have it plugged in right there in my Super Nintendo, so I don't want to take it out. It'll take away my little background effect. I traded in about 10 of those dollar games. Maybe it was about 7 of them. About $7 games I got for $1. And I got Secret of Evermore for Super Nintendo with it. It's playing on the television set here. It was $25, or it was $30 he was asking, but I got $25 credit, and I noticed the label was kind of messed up, so he gave it to me for $25. So I traded in those 7 games I got for $1, and I got Secret of Evermore, a game I've always been wanting to play. I've been playing this about 5 or 10 hours. I'm up to like level 18. I'm having fun playing it. If anyone's ever played The Secret of Evermore, let me know what you think about it. I'm enjoying it a lot. It's not turn-based, it's more action RPG, but I don't think it's the level of action as Zelda, but still it's a fun little action game. You can do some grinding to power up your guy. Everything's not super straightforward. You have to do a little bit of thinking, you have to do a little bit of puzzling, a little bit of backtracking, but it's all fun. I think the graphics are amazing. I think they might even be up there with Link's Awakening, or Link to the Past, excuse me. I like how the backgrounds are just not repeating tiles. It's like they're really detailed backgrounds. Like they got the little stained glass windows here and stuff. And the little jungles, they look highly detailed. Not just like repeating tiles like some games. Anyway, so I found some more games for $1, and I went back and I traded them in to get 2 more games on my 007 list: GoldenEye, Rogue Agent, and Quantum of Solace for PlayStation 2. So now I'm getting really close to completing my PlayStation 2 James Bond collection. I just need Nightfire, and that's a really common one that's easy to find. That's cheap. I traded in like 5 or 6 dollar games to get these. These are probably not even worth $1 a piece, but they were ones I've been looking for, and they're complete, in good shape. This was a couple dollars. Lost Planet Extreme Condition, Capcom game, one of the early Xbox 360 games. I didn't have it. I remember I enjoyed the demo of it, but I don't care for that you're constantly dying of the cold, so you constantly have to find these glowing orbs to warm yourself up. I kind of don't care for stuff like that, but it's a fun game nevertheless, like a third-person shooter action game. Oh, I got this actually for my brother-in-law. I just found a Wii for $10 with all the attachments, and I gave it to my brother-in-law and my sister-in-law, and so I got this Call of Duty 3 for them. We got a few games for them. I just forgot to give him this. If he doesn't want it, I'll just keep it for myself. I played this before. The little baby rattle works pretty good with first-person shooters on Wii. Okay, some GameCube games I got for $1. I just can't pass up GameCube games for $1. Kelly Slater's Pro Surfer. I'm sure that's just like Tony Hawk. You probably are grinding waves and collecting letters. I don't know. I haven't played it yet, but that was $1. It's complete. Can't pass up GameCube games for $1. And then Desert Storm. That one's not complete. Conflict Desert Storm. I didn't even know this was on GameCube. I thought it was a PlayStation 2 exclusive, but have that game now. Conflict Desert Storm on GameCube. Anytime there's a GameCube game, that's a system I just always collect for, no matter how crappy the game. I'm trying to take it easy now, just buy games I want, like Bond games, Resident Evil, and then original Xbox and GameCube. Okay, and we'll go into this was one that CM Retro likes a lot. Siphon Filter, the Omega Strain. This one is sealed, and it has the little slip cover on it. It's kind of gnarly looking in certain places, but the game is sealed. Omega Strain, so I don't really know if I'm going to keep this. I have Siphon Filter 1 on PS1, but this one, I don't know. CM Retro says it's really good, so I don't know whether to play it. I got so many other games to play, though. Yeah, anyway, this is sealed. I don't know if I'm going to keep it or get rid of it. I just couldn't pass it up. It was $1. Sealed Siphon Filter Omega Strain. Not that expensive of a game, but can't pass something up sealed. Oh, here's one that was on my wish list. Killzone. I got that for 95 cents. It's complete, in really good shape. Killzone, it's complete. Someone bought it for like $60 back when it came out. I'm not really a big fan of first-person shooter games. A few of them I really like Half-Life 2 and BioShock. This one I've always really liked the style of it. I like Halo, but that's kind of like, I'm not really obsessed with it. That was a fun game I played through with my buddy, but I haven't really played much Halo since then. This was supposed to be like Halo's rival, but it's nowhere near as good as Halo, but I kind of prefer the style of this one. I really like the style. It's on the inferior PS2. It doesn't have the power or the visuals of the Xbox, but I kind of like the style of this game. It's sort of like a sci-fi version of World War II. It just kind of reminds me of a World War II game, and it's kind of grainy and foggy. They probably just do that to hide the poor graphics of the PS2, but I like the way it looks. I think it looks really good. Sort of the grainy, foggy look of this game. Yeah, they have like flying spaceships and stuff, so it's kind of like a sci-fi World War II looking game. But I played through this a few levels of, and it's pretty good so far. This is one I had a demo of a long time ago, and I thought it was interesting. Oh, another Resident Evil 5 for $1. I just picked these up because that's one of my favorite games, so if anyone wants that, let me know. Oh, heck yeah. I did good at the Goodwill. Usually I never find things, but I found quite a few games I wanted there on my good old original Xbox. Mortal Kombat Deadly Alliance, that's one I had when it first was released on Xbox, but I must have gotten rid of it or something. But I have this back. This is a fun game, especially after playing that new Mortal Kombat. This one is just so, it just seems so much more fast-paced and colorful and wacky and fun compared to that new Mortal Kombat. I do like this is more 3D, like Tekken style, but But man, it still has kind of that kung fu theme. I like the new ones just kind of seem like fantasy sci-fi bullcrap, but this one still kind of has that kung fu type theme, like a martial arts movie. Oh, SpiderMan, didn't have that one. I got that for Xbox. Here's one I've been looking for, True Crime. I have that on Xbox now. Pretty common game, but I didn't have it. Oddworld's Munch's Odyssey. I didn't have this one. I don't even know what kind of game this is. I was thinking it was a 2D platformer, but it looks more 3D in the pictures of it practicing. I don't really know much about that. Oh, Reckless, the Yakuza missions. I had this before, but it wasn't complete. Now I have a complete version of that, or a complete copy. Resistance Fall of Man for PlayStation 3, $1. I've got that. I have part 3, now I just need part 2. Oh, here's one that was on my wish list, and I can't believe I found it for... It was $8. That's usually more than I spend on a game, but this game... It's always like $30 and up if you want to buy it off of eBay. Dino Crysis 3, not the best game, but just sort of anything Capcom that's anywhere near associated to Resident Evil. I like Dinos in Space. 50 cent Bulletproof. 95 cents. I wish it would have been 50 cents, but it was 95 cents. I think this is the first one that had really bad reviews, third-person shooter. I didn't have it, though. Like anything, added to my Xbox collection. Here's Arctic Thunder. It looks like a snowmobile racing game, like a downhill snowmobile racing game. That was $2. I had to add that to my Xbox collection. 50 cents, I got Shell Shock Nom. 67. I'm sure I played this one before, back with my brother. Here's one I've been wanting too. This was $2. Roadkill. This looks like Twisted Metal. I haven't heard much about this, but this looks like Twisted Metal with Xbox graphics. It looks really nice from the pictures of it. Twisted Metal meets Grand Theft Auto. Huh. So I wonder if it's open world. I'm sure it's just a Twisted Metal clone, but I haven't heard much about it. I have the what is it, Bloodwake? DeadThumbGamer sent me that one. That's sort of like a Twisted Metal on boats. This just looks like a straight up Twisted Metal ripoff, which is cool. And then Red Faction 2, that was $2. I remember these were pretty good, like the environments were destructible back then. Oh man, it's getting hot. So Mark, the Game Shark in the old text group, I'm sure you're familiar with him. Check out his YouTube channel. He's a big collector, a big video game player, good at fixing stuff. He turned me on to the deal at Target. The PlayStation Mini, PlayStation Classic was down to $40 at Target, and then with the Cartwheel app, which my wife has, it took off $15 or something. So this was like $26, which is a darn good price. This is something I've always wanted, but I didn't want to spend the $100 on it, or even $60, because I have a lot of PlayStation games. But man, just for the novelty of this, I'm glad to have this now. I hear it's easy to hack and mod and add games, add ISOs or ROMs. So got this, still haven't opened it up yet. $26 is a great price for that. Okay, on to my eBay purchases. Here's a little one. This one I've been wanting, Spy Hunter, Nowhere to Run with the Rock. This is one I always wanted back on Xbox, but I never got it. I think it was tied in with a movie that was supposed to be released with The Rock, but the movie was never made, but the game was made. It's based on the old Spy Hunter game. And this one has, I think it has on-foot action beat 'em up levels with The Rock, and then there's car racing levels. Really cheap game, but I ordered it on eBay. I think it was like $5. Oh yeah. Okay, GameStop. I'm trying to get back all my PlayStation 1 games that were stolen when I was younger. And one of the more expensive games now is Silent Hill. This is one of the games that got jacked out of my car. And if you look around on eBay now, it's up there. Like bidding starts at like 30, and they're usually people just trying to sell them for $100. I looked on GameStop's website, and they had it for $22. And on the picture of it had the case. When I order stuff off of GameStop's website, sometimes when it comes in the mail, it has the case and the manual. Sometimes it doesn't. It's just a gamble. From my experiences before this, anytime the picture had the box and the artwork, usually when it would come in the mail, it would have the artwork and box. Or if it was just a picture of the disc, usually just the disc would come. So I took a gamble on this. The picture of it had the box. I think hopefully it'll come with the case and the manual. But it didn't. But 22 for Silent Hill is still good. Yeah, Silent Hill is a great game that I never completed. I got deep into it, but then it got jacked out of my car. I actually have it on the PlayStation Network, so I could play that any time on my PSP. I just wanted to have the physical copy for my collection. Well, another game, man, this is a great game that I'd never played, but I'd always wanted it. And it's usually really expensive on eBay. This one doesn't have the back art. It has the manual and the game, of course. Street Fighter EX2 Plus. Man, this is a great game. I never played it. I only played Street Fighter Alpha 1, or Street Fighter EX Alpha 1. That's the one I was looking for. They're both pretty pricey. This one I got for $30. This is the cheapest one I could find. I think that's a great deal. This is a fun game. If you like Street Fighter 4 or even 5, this really great game. So got that for my PlayStation collection. Okay, here's another one that's up there in price now. I got lucky. I found this one for $30 on eBay. Usually the bidding starts there. They might have come down by now. I got this about a month ago. Resident Evil 3, PlayStation 2. Yeah, this is one of the games that got jacked out of my car. I need to have all the PlayStation games on PS1. Now I have a complete collection of all the PlayStation games for PS1. This isn't one of my favorites. I know this is a lot of people's favorite. I think it's kind of too action-y for being one of those tank control stationary camera games. But man, it's a top-notch game though. So have this now. Happy to get that for $30. Delivered to me. It's the greatest hits, but I don't care about that, whether it's the greatest hits or not. Another one, I got this one for $10 shipped to me. Resident Evil Director's Cut. This isn't the best version to have, I guess, but I don't care. I played the first version that didn't have auto lock on and all that, and I did fine with it. Yeah, Director's Cut. So now I have all of the PlayStation 1 games. Emerald Game Cave sent me Resident Evil 2. And Corey, Maine-iac Gaming, sent me Survivor. So now I have all the Resident Evils on PlayStation 1. Okay, and here's one of my favorite FMV games. Had it back then, Wing Commander 3. A cinematic sci-fi fantasy adventure, kind of like a mixture of Star Wars and Star Trek. A lot of FMV, big movie stars in here. Mark Hamill's the star. Malcolm McDowell's in here. John Rhys Davies from the Indiana Jones movies. Tom Wilson that plays Biff is in here, and he's a big a-hole just like Biff. Yeah, this is a cool game. It's a space shooter. You go do missions in space. You kill all the bad kind of like dogfighting. One thing I learned from OurStorySoFar, a YouTube channel I watch, he did a video on this game, and he said that all of the spaceships in here are not polygonal, like they're just 2D images at different angles. It could have fooled me. I always thought they were 3D, like it looks really good. I don't know about now, I haven't played it, but back then I thought all these ships look really cool, like 3D ships. I thought they were like polygonal, but it's just a 2D image at different angles, smaller and bigger as it gets closer and farther away. So really fun little space fights, and then there's a lot of really good cutscenes with acting, like with Mark Hamill. There's a big dog guy or a big cat guy, and yeah, this is a really cool game. Oh, here's another one of my favorites that got jacked out of my car. Overblood. I got this. It was like $5 or $10 on eBay. I was expecting this game to be worth more or sell for more because you never hear about it. I thought it was rare, but it must not be worth anything. But this is a really fun survival horror game that I really enjoyed back then. I think the production value, I think it's all really well made. It's, it has the sort of like the Dino Crysis type control. He's kind of tank control like Resident Evil. He moves around the environments, but the backgrounds are polygonal. You could even do a first-person mode. You can do all kinds of different camera angles. It's sort of a sci-fi survival horror. This guy is locked inside of some kind of facility, and he's trying to get out, and there's contaminated people going on in this facility. Sci-fi. It really has that like 70s or 60s sci-fi movie feel. It's a Japanese made game, but it's published by Electronic Arts. River Hill Soft is who developed it. I don't know, I just saw the names on the credit. They all look Japanese or Korean or something, but has a really good like 60s, 70s sci-fi movie feel. Really enjoy this game. I'm glad to have this back in my collection. Okay. One of my favorite guilty pleasure games. I love this game. I like the movie too. Street Fighter, the movie, the game. When I had some extra money from all that overtime, I had to buy this game. I got the big box here, PlayStation 1. It's complete. It doesn't have the foam in there, but this is the only big box PlayStation 1 game I had. I had to have this game. This was the first game I ever played on PlayStation 1. And as crappy as some people say it is, back then when I saw like full screen, like full color, full motion video on a video game, like wow, this is so cool. My Super Nintendo could never do anything like this. And then the characters look real, like real people, like Mortal Kombat. These characters in here are kind of washed out and faded looking compared to the arcade, but I still like the style of this game. It's pretty much just Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo reskinned with digitized actors. It has all the actors from the movie are in here. Like, when you ever gonna play a fighting game or a Street Fighter game with Jean-Claude Van Damme? I just really enjoy this game. And if you know how to play Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo, then you'll do good at this. Anyway, yeah, so I ordered the disc off of eBay for $15, and then the case I ordered from someone else for $15, so I got it for about $30. That's way more than I usually spend, but I've been in a spendy mood with all my overtime at work. Okay, I'll just finish it off. I got these two off of eBay for $10. They were delivered. Resident Evil Archives, Resident Evil 0 Archives didn't have these. I'm trying to complete my Resident Evil collection. So now I have all of the Wii Resident Evil games. I have these two, Resident Evil 4, Umbrella Chronicles, and Dark Side Chronicles. Cool to have these. And thankfully you can use the GameCube controllers on these. I have both these on GameCube, but you know, I'm just trying to complete Resident Evil collection. Okay, thanks for sitting through all of that. It's getting hot in here, so I'm going to end this video. Thanks for stopping by. I'll try to do something else creative. I'm sure I'm going to start having more time to do stuff soon. Right now, between work and my family, and also I've been playing Castlevania Symphony of the Night for the first time on PlayStation. Jav Geez sent it to me. I've been playing that a lot. That's a fun game. I'm hoping I can beat it pretty soon. This will be the first Castlevania I've ever beaten. And of course, I've been playing old Secret of Evermore here. I hope I can finish that. Anyway, I'll see you next time. I hope I can do something this weekend or next weekend. I hope I'm back on my usual schedule. I'm hoping the overtime on my work is cutting back, and I'll see you all later. Bye.